God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. Well, good afternoon to Dean Noria, esteemed professors, my fellow Achievement Award winners, invited guests, staff, parents, family, but most importantly, good afternoon to the 2018 class of Harvard Business School. It is such a privilege and an honor to be here and to be chosen by you, class of 2018, to be your class day speaker. I am so excited to be here at this time, this year, to share this day with you. But before I go on, I want to thank two people in particular. My second-year professor of career management, Tom DeLong. He was instrumental in the way I left HBS because he asked me a very important question. After all the classes were done, he said, "Carla, will you know when?" And that question has been something that has guided me as I've gone year after year to make 31 years on Wall Street. So I say publicly to you, sir, thank you very much. The second person that I'd like to thank is Professor Lakshmi Rajan, who wrote the case on me that many of you studied and that I had the privilege of listening as you all dissected my life in front of me in section. But I want to thank her because I think she did an outstanding job, and it was a privilege and an honor to be the subject of an HBS case. Now, my. Things have changed so much in the 31 years since I sat where you are sitting today. In May of 1987, the Dow was at 2,200 and change. And yesterday it closed at 24,000 and change. Of the 30 companies that made up the Dow, only 13 remain and 13 don't exist anymore. Over the course of these years, Amazon has evolved from a mere bookseller to a disruptive threat to numerous industries. The internet became prominent, the Berlin Wall fell, the iPhone was born, Google was founded and then evolved from being just a company to being both a noun and a verb. We endured the first major terrorist attack on U.S. soil in 9/11. The United States elected its first African-American president. Global warming reached a tipping point in the summer of 2010 with record high temperatures and excessive flooding. Nelson Mandela was released from prison. Saddam Hussein was captured. We had a global financial crisis. We had the fall of iconic financial institutions and the advent of artificial intelligence. Can anybody say, Alexa? We have also seen over this time the rise of populism and nationalism, which I think is a direct result of countries and cultures failing to invest in those who are underserved, who lack access to opportunities for equal education and employment, thereby growing the divide between the have and the have-nots, and also simply just a direct result of people's general resistance to and fear of change. But while a lot has happened over these 3 decades since I left Harvard Business School, there are some things that have not changed at all. As you sit here today on the eve of your official graduation, you are eager to begin your career and to obtain your current definition of success. You are eager for your journey to leadership, and you think you have a pretty good idea about how to get there. But you are smart enough to know that there are some things that you don't know, but you are not sure what they are. No, indeed, some things are still the same. In many ways, the career journey is still referred to as the game. And like any game, there are plays that you need to win that go beyond the rules of basic skills that you have acquired. Looking back, I wish someone had given me a bit of a playbook. So today, HBS class of 2018, I want to imagine just for a moment that I'm graduating with you today. and that I had the privilege of receiving a letter from an alum that sat where I'm sitting 3 decades before, and that gave me the plays that will make my journey smoother, giving me a clearer path to success, allowing me to evolve as an effective, impactful leader. And it goes like this. Dear Carla, congratulations on your graduation from HBS. You are now a member of a group of people that have acquired the academic and intellectual tools to become managers and leaders from an institution that has been known throughout its 110-year history for creating great leaders. And Carla, membership has its privileges. You have the privilege to have access to opportunities that many other MBA graduates don't have due to the outstanding and powerful, vibrant alumni network that HBS has. You have the privilege to have special access to an esteemed group of scholars that you have studied with at the business school that will continue to make themselves available to you as you grow and evolve. You have the privilege of being perceived as a leader because of your HBS heritage even before you have evolved as a leader. Ah, yes, membership has its privileges, but there are a few other things that you will need in order to maximize your success in whatever seat or seats that you choose over the course of your career. Number one, you cannot get to the top by just putting your head down and getting the work done. It takes more than that. You need to understand the difference between performance currency and relationship currency. You see, performance currency is the currency that is generated by your delivering that which was asked of you and a little bit extra. Every time that you deliver on an assignment above people's expectations, you will generate performance currency. It works just like the stock market. Anytime a company says to the street that they will deliver 25 cents a share in that quarter, and that company delivers 40 cents a share, that stock goes up every single time, and so will yours. And performance currency is valuable for 3 reasons. Number one, early in your career, it will get you noticed. It will create a reputation for you. Number two, early on in your career, it will get you paid and promoted. And number 3, it may even attract a sponsor. And if you don't know, Carla, while a mentor is a nice thing to have, you can survive a long time in your career without a mentor, but you will not ascend without a sponsor. The sponsor is the person that is carrying your paper into the room. That room where you are not present. That room where somebody else is talking about whether or not you are worthy of an opportunity. And that sponsor is the person that is spending their valuable political and social capital on you. And if you have good performance currency, it raises your level of visibility such that a sponsor may naturally be attracted to you. Or if, like many of us, you have to exercise your power and ask for a sponsor, it heightens the probability that that person will answer in the affirmative upon your approach. But here's the problem, Carla, with performance currency. Early on, it's worth about $1.50, but over time, it starts to experience diminishing marginal returns. That $1.50 works its way right back down to $1. Why? Because now you have established a new standard of excellence. Everybody knows that you will do a great job. Everybody expects that you will deliver. So there's no longer a premium associated with your deliverable. The currency that now is most important is the relationship currency. And relationship currency is worth about $2.25, and it never experiences any diminishing marginal returns. And relationship currency, Carla, is the currency that is generated by the investments that you make in the people in your environment. The investments that you make in the people in your environment. You will not work in a silo. People today are working in highly integrated environments. So at a minimum, you must have relationships with every seat that touches your seat. If the only person that knows that you're doing a great job is your boss, then your ability to ascend will be vulnerable. Why? That person may leave the organization. they may lose their seat at the decision-making table, or they may lose their juice. So it's your job to make sure as many people as possible is aware of your outsized contribution. Here's why relationship currency is so important. Your ability to ascend will be a function of somebody's judgment. Judgment about whether or not you're ready. Judgment about whether or not the team will follow you. And judgment about whether or not you will be successful. And ladies and gentlemen, judgments are directly influenced by relationships. Everybody on this yard today has power. Hard-earned, personal, influential currency. But I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, how many people on this yard will use their hard-earned, personal, influential currency on somebody that they do not know? That's right. So remember, Carla, that your ability to ascend will rarely, if ever, be a function of whether or not somebody likes you. But it absolutely will be a function of whether or not somebody knows you. The second thing I want to tell you is that leadership is a journey from execution to empowerment. When you are just starting out in any organization, you are in fact that individual contributor. But as you move up in an organization, you must evolve from someone who is just executing to someone who is developing other leaders or empowering other people. True leaders make leaders. And I have learned that the secret to growing your power is to give it away. Number 3, talking is overrated. Listening is far more important. As your grandmother told you, the reason why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth is that you're supposed to listen twice as much as you talk. If you learn how to really listen, you will get to the leadership seat much faster, and you will be a better leader. When you listen, you can hear what people are really saying, yet they are not articulating. When you listen, you learn that there are very few people that have original thought. When you listen, you realize that there is no need for you to be intimidated by other people because most people don't know what they're really talking about. When you listen, you can form the foundation of building relationships. Then you can say to someone, let me repeat what I heard you say. Did I understand you to mean? When you say that, that person is now saying, wow, she was listening. Oh, he heard me. And you have just generated immediate currency in that exchange that you can use to invest in that relationship. Why? Everybody values being heard. Number 4, when a crisis comes, make sure that you do not react, but rather that you respond. When you react, you're coming from a human place, a place that responds to stimulus, fight or flight. But when you respond, you're coming from that power that is within, that power that leverages your strength of discernment, that leverages your intellect and your experience, that confident place that says, no matter what this really is, I know that I know that I know that I will prevail victoriously because I'm a winner and I know how the story ends. Number 5, dare to innovate, drive change, dare to take risks. Leaders don't compete, Carla, they disrupt. And the only way that you can disrupt is to take risks. Change is inevitable. Growth is good. Nothing stays the same. If you want to be seen as a leader, then you must be fearless in the face of change. In fact, the key to getting comfortable with change is to create the change. Make it happen. Take the risk of trying something new. Innovate. The worst that can happen is that you fail. But guess what? Failure always brings you a gift. And that gift is called experience. Now you know how to do it better. Now you know how to do it differently. Now you know how to do it successfully. At the margin, it is always worth taking the risk. And remember, Carla, there are very few things in life that are irreparable. including your career. So take the risks. Because the only reason that people don't take risks is that they're scared. They're just scared. It's fear. And hear me clearly, fear has no place in your success equation. Fear has no place in your success equation. Anytime you approach anything in your life, personally or professionally, from a position of fear, you will always underpenetrate that opportunity. The reason I talk about fear, Carla, is that it's sneaky. It's the reason that you fail to ask for the role that you want. It's the reason that you fail to demand the compensation that you deserve. It's the reason that you fail to ask for the promotion. It's the reason that you fail to exercise your voice and to speak truth to power. Fear is the reason that you fail to give a non-traditional candidate the opportunity for a job on your team. I want you to be conscious of it so that you can perceive it as the culprit of the inertia in your career and in your life, and then get rid of it. Always play for yes. Next, don't be afraid of making a mistake. You have to be willing to make a mistake if you're going to activate a try. Mistakes are a valuable and valid part of life. Remember that everybody makes a mistake, so making a mistake does not make you special. What makes you special is how and if you get up. The key to making mistakes is to leverage the lesson into the next opportunity. Don't let it be a career-limiting occurrence, and never let anyone else tell your story. Own your narrative. It is your narrative, it is your story, and it must have your spin. Giving away your narrative is akin to giving away your power. Sure, there are people that will try to make you feel like this mistake is a major obstacle or a problem, but don't fall for it. It's not true, and it'll only be a problem if you let it. Next, Carla, be an inclusive leader. Gone are the days when you can survive as a my way or the highway type leader. Leadership in the 21st century will not be based solely on functional expertise, but rather on consensus building, the ability to collaborate, to build bridges across obvious divides, to tolerate others' point of view. In fact, to embrace different points of view, to not only have vision, but to be able to articulate a vision and inspire, not require, but inspire others to line up and follow you. Being an inclusive leader involves soliciting other people's voices, soliciting their voice into the conversation, and embracing and leveraging all of who they are. As the leader, it is your responsibility to invite them into the conversation. And when you invite them, you must support them. When you support and reinforce their inclusion and their contributions, they will be inspired to consistently contribute at their highest level, and that will accrue to your status in the leadership seat. You must be dogged, Carla, about your insistence on having diverse teams. Don't be confused. It's not about the right thing to do, it's about the commercial thing to do. In the world that you are entering, diversity is a strategic, competitive imperative that will lead to above-market commercial gain. Don't let the rhetoric of the day fool you or blind you to the beauty or the bounty that exists from our varied perspectives, from our varied genders, from the varied neighborhoods from which we come. For it is the diversity of perspectives, it is from the diversity of our genders and the diversity of our persons that will bear the fruit of the next company, the next great franchise, the next great healthcare discovery, or that will identify the gaps in a corporate strategy. It will be the diversity of perspectives that will save a great franchise from a social media crucifixion because they ran the wrong ad or they gave the wrong response to an unfortunate event. Carla, people decisions will be some of the most important decisions that you will make. Making sure that you have the right people in the right seat at the right time will be far more important than whether you price your IPO $1 less or $1 more, or whether you allocate the right amount of capital to a new endeavor, or whether you overpay for an asset. The people decisions are especially important if you are in a startup, for those decisions have real financial, operational, psychological, and morale implications. If there is any place that you should spend extra time as a leader, as a manager, as an owner, is around people decisions. Number 8, no need to fake it until you make it. You are enough. You are already a winner. Be authentically who you are, because your authenticity is your distinct competitive advantage. Nobody can be you the way that you can be you. Here's a secret, Carla. Most people are not comfortable in their own skin. And when they see someone who is comfortable and confident in their skin, they will gravitate towards you because they absolutely want some of that. As a banker, your success will depend upon relationships. And the easiest way to build relationships is to bring your authentic self to the table. When you bring your authentic self to the table, people will trust you. And trust is at the heart of any successful relationship. You will be surprised how many people will be intimidated by you because you are committed to bringing your authentic self to every interaction. It is empowering and it is powerful beyond what you can see today. Number 9, power lies, Carla, knowing whose you are, not who you are. Stay focused on your highest power, your universe, or whatever you want to call it. Carla, you know who is on the throne. Get closer to that power and learn how to draw upon it. Make it muscle memory. The more you give thanks and the more you use that power, the more powerful you will become. Because of that relationship, you have no choice but to be a glass half full kind of girl. You know how to turn your worry into worship and your problems into praise, so just do it. And lastly, go for it every time. Play big. Don't try to inch your way to the top by playing it safe. Eric Schmidt, co-founder of Google, said, incrementalism leads to irrelevance. Don't take baby steps to your goal. You will be disintermediated and deemed irrelevant before you can gather momentum. Own your power. Even though you are just graduating, you have power. Don't give it away by letting someone make you feel that you are less than or that perhaps you are not really qualified for the role. Don't even think about having that imposter syndrome. The companies that gave you offers knew exactly what they were buying. You didn't fool them. You are not that good of an actress. They hired you because they thought you were and you are awesome, terrific, and outstanding. They hired you because they thought you could make rain, so make rain. As your good friend Judith Adu said, this is real life. This ain't a dress rehearsal. Swing hard every time until you find your home run swing. Carla, you are part of the class of 2018 of the Harvard Business School, and it is an awesome class. They have already demonstrated that they know how to take their life from success to significance in the way that they've already started to do for others. Know that you know that you know that you have everything that you need to have an extraordinary career and an extraordinary life. You have the best academic training that exists. You have had extraordinary experiences, and you have inspiring relationships. Expect and strategize to win, and you will. Sincerely, Carla, the alum of 31 years, class of 2018, congratulations, and I look forward to your leadership.